6:32 now. Welcome back to Up with KREM. We are tracking breaking news this morning. Police are investigating a robbery right now in North Spokane. Nicole Hernandez is at the Zip Trip gas station on North Ash and Francis, where police say that robbery took place. Nicole, what can you tell us? I know you just arrived there just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, Jen, so right now we have several officers looking for one more suspect. I was able to talk to an officer. He told me just a little bit. They said there was a robbery at the Zip Trip here. They have one person in custody, but they are still looking for one other person. So when we first arrived, there are two officers at the gas station collecting information from witnesses, and then a few more officers. You can see 3 cars down the way here over down Francis. So they are blocking one lane here of Francis going westbound. The biggest thing that we've seen, though, we saw a dog and a group of officers, a couple officers with those large rifles, looking for that other suspect that they are looking for. So they were going through, they started down the street where you can see those police cars are, then they went house by house looking down the streets and in every single alleyway with that dog, stopping at the corner here at Francis and Elgin at this house, and then moving across the street. The last we saw them was just about a minute ago. They were going into this church here behind the church. So we haven't seen them since they went behind this church here. But again, that was, I would say, about 6-7 officers with the dog. Another officer in their car following them told us to stay where we are, and we heard a loudspeaker, not sure which car it came from or where that came from, but the loudspeaker of officers telling citizens, what we think said telling citizens in this area to stay in place. So if you are in this area, what you need to know: first off, westbound one lane is blocked by police cars, so be careful. Traffic in this area, as well as if you live in this area, officers are asking people to stay put as they look for this final suspect. As we get any more information, we will bring that to you right away. Live in North Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, can you stay with me just one moment? Can you remind folks where you're at right now? I know that's a busy street you're on, but where exactly are you located?
Yeah, so we are right on Francis, just west of Ash. So westbound Ash is where most of the activity is happening, and officers, of course, at that Zip Trip there, which is right near the Rosars, which is right on Ash and Francis.
Okay, and this morning it doesn't look like there's any traffic impacts in that area.
No, the only thing is that one westbound lane is blocked a little bit further up Francis here. There are some police cars that are using that lane as a place to park.
All right, Nicole, thank you so much for bringing us that live report. Of course, we'll continue to track that breaking news for you here on Up with KREM. In the meantime, though, we do want to bring in Evan Arani this morning for a look outside. I know it's been a warm one this week. Evan, what can we expect as we get our Wednesday started?
Hey, Jen, good morning. Yeah, a little bit cooler as we start off the day. Temperatures are mostly in the 60s as opposed to the 70s that we started off Monday and Tuesday with. Mainly contributing to this thanks to this wet weather system that's passing through. We've got thunderstorms to start off our Wednesday morning. You can see most of them have made their way out of the region, so not exactly affecting Washington or North Idaho anymore, but just a few hours ago they were. So I'll pause this at where we are right now. You can see how Washington is mainly dry, and through the North Idaho panhandle we're looking pretty good as well. But if you look off toward western Montana, that's where we still have plenty of thunderstorms located, and still some down even around the Kuski area. If you look up toward about Bonners Ferry, Sandpoint area, we've got still some rain coming down, so important to keep in mind that wet weather is still present this morning and going to continue to clear out as the day goes on. I'll give you a little bit of a closer look at just the last about 3 hours on that satellite radar loop. In fact, let me extend this back to about 5 hours where you could see what we started off with, and it just passed all the way through the panhandle, even making its way through Spokane around that about 2 and 3 a.m. hour. Watches, warnings, and advisories look like this. They've all expired for the Washington and North Idaho region. Still some red flag warnings down toward Oregon, making it to 93 degrees this afternoon. That's the afternoon high, but that ridge that has been bringing the heat wave, well, that's going to be flattening, and we're going to be seeing those temperatures cool down quite a bit over the next several days. So making it back down to the 80s for days after today. We'll look at that a little bit closer in just a few minutes. I'll send things back over to you, Jen.
All right, Evan, thank you so much. Well, new this morning, experts have issued level 3 evacuations for a wildfire burning in Okanogan County. This is near the Palmer Fire near Omak. Areas west of Wanacott Lake need to get out now. Now, crews say that fire is about 100 acres in size and burning grass, brush, and timber. Now, check out this video. This is from the National Weather Service. It shows smoke from that fire drifting across the border to Canada. Now, we also want to get back to those evacuation. Residents in the area west of Wanacut Lake are being asked to leave. The lake's about 7 miles southwest of Oroville near the U.S.-Canada border. The evacuation notice applies to Wanacut Lake Road from Ellis Barnes Road in the north and south to Richards Road. Well, the Badger Lake fire this morning is still under a level 3 evacuation notice. The wildfire is burning or has burned just over 200 acres southeast of Cheney. This morning, the Department of Natural Resources is expecting to lower the evacuation notice to level 2. Well, you, of course, will keep you updated if that changes here on Up with KREM and on KREM.com.
Thank you very much, Jen. 6:37 now. Taking a look at what's trending. A reversal this morning by the head of the U.S. Postal Service. In a statement about his delay-causing policy changes, the Postmaster General has now announced, quote, "To avoid even the appearance of any impact on election mail, I am suspending these initiatives until after the election is concluded." Louis DeJoy's widely criticized cost-cutting measures, which included removing mailboxes and hundreds of mail processing machines, will now be postponed until after the election. Democrats have accused President Trump and DeJoy, who is a major Trump donor, of trying to undermine mail-in voting, which President Trump says favors Democrats.
It'll end up being a rigged election, or they will never come out with an outcome. They'll have to do it again.
I don't frankly trust the Postmaster General and what he said, and if he's sincere about it, it means the bully has backed off.
Now, DeJoy heads to Capitol Hill on Friday, where he's set to testify about the changes that he's made. House Democrats are holding a rare Saturday vote this weekend to pass $25 billion in emergency funding for the Postal Service. President Trump has stated he only supports $10 billion in funding. DeJoy also faces a challenge from at least 20 states who have announced plans to sue him for the changes that he's made. And in Washington, Attorney General Bob Ferguson has announced their own lawsuit after finding proposed USPS changes would cause election delays, among other direct impacts. Now, people who receive their medication and their Social Security through the mail are also seeing delays. This weekend, downtown would have been filled with basketball courts and ballers from around the world. But coming up, we're speaking with the Hoop Fest Executive Director, Matt Santangelo, about this year's virtual event, including the ways you can still show off some of your skills.